Hey guys, this is Emilio with RMS Customs and Fab here in Cibolo, Texas. Today I wanted to go over with you as far as one of the vehicles that we're just finishing up on the shop. This is a 69 Z28 Camaro. We're just finishing up on the last minute touches. This is a factory Z28 car. The drivetrain itself is not the DZ302 and it's not the 4-speed Muncie and factory 12-bolt we're in. It does have a 12-bolt, but it's not the factory one. The vehicle does have everything. We took it out to the side. Customer wanted to do a full restoration on the vehicle, but he wanted to keep it all original. At the same time, he wanted to be able to go and drive the vehicle like what it's meant to be driven, as far as on the vehicles now with the with the modern technology, the drivetrain. So what we ended up doing is we ended up putting an LS3 530 horsepower. We ended up putting a Tremec 5-speed transmission, and we ended up still staying with the 12-bolt, but not the one that's matching to the car. We ended up going with the 373 5-speed 12-bolt we're in on the vehicle. The vehicle is equipped with the factory subframe, but with full DSC suspension. The rear's DSC leaf springs with the front upper and lower control arms and sway bar kit. The rear's what we ended up doing the leaf springs with the mini tub on it. And as far as on the brakes, we ended up going with our friends over at Willwood. And then at the same time, our other friends over at Forge Line Wheels, we ended up using the wheels for this vehicle itself. We ended up doing, as far as everything else, is basically stock interior, except for the gauges, stock looking, but with the RTX digital Dakota gauges. Or I'm sorry, Dakota digital gauges. So, but let's go over with the engine bay, and then I'm gonna go over and break down everything to you as far as what we did. So this vehicle is equipped with the 530 horsepower LS3 engine. The customer wanted the vintage look, but with the modern drivetrain. So what we ended up doing is, as far as factory GM LS ECU, it is drive-by-wire, so it's not cable or the hard pedal driven. It's all modern, so it has a 90mm throttle body. We ended up using a Holley intake with the fuel injector rails, and then we just used an adapter for the drive-by-wire 90mm throttle body in there. So it does have custom valve covers. They're one-off valve covers, so you will not see this on the vehicle, on the store, in the shelf somewhere. So these are one-off valve covers. Again, the customer wanted a vintage look, so we also went off with the Holley front accessory drive system. Since the Z28 does not come with AC, it is a heater-driven vehicle only, non-AC. So Holley does offer the vintage style also look as far as with non-AC. So we had the power steering, the alternator, and then the water pump. We ended up going with the DeWitt's dual fan, 3-roll dual fan radiator setup. And then as far as on the brakes, it's a factory master cylinder, but it's a master cylinder setup for full-wheel disc brakes on it. And as far as again, going over everything else, all the vehicles are rewired to factory specs, because we still have the factory style motor. Again, we ended up going with a factory look, so customer wanted to retain the air cleaner and then still have the flapper on the cowl induction hood to work. So again, we're in the final stages of restoring the vehicle, so those are little things that we're still finishing up on. But itself, as you can see, it actually has a distributor. The distributor is a mock-up. It's not a mock-up, but it's actually a fake distributor that runs. It's considered a pass-through. So the ignition codes are hidden. They're actually inside the vehicle itself. But if you look at the engine, it gives you all the vintage look that the customer was looking for, and at the same time gives you all the modern feel and drive of a Mio vehicle. So you can't beat that, both worlds. As far as inside the vehicle itself, again, this is a 69 Z28 car. Customer wanted it all to be all original. So what we ended up doing is we went original style look, but with a little bit modern twist on it. So We ended up going with Dakota digital gauges with the RTX gauges on there, with rally pack gauges in the center console as well too. We also ended up doing a little bit twist on the seats. As you can see, it has a little bit of lumbar support. These are TMI upholstery front and rear seats, also too with their door panels and their quarter panels itself. We wanted something a little bit more, just to give a little bit more flavor on it compared to what it is on the original. So TMI offered that option for us, and as you can see on the seats, they're custom. We had to get them made for us because the customer wanted that little comfort weave in the middle, but still with that factory standard style lumbar support from TMI. So that got made, front and rear seats, and then also we went with a TMI carpet interior for the vehicle itself as well. Okay, wanted to go over on the trunk area with you guys. So basically all we did was just really cover the factory style trunk. Since the rear was mini tubbed, that's basically really the only fabrication that got done on this 69 Camaro. Basically all we did was just mini tubbed it, and then the customer wanted something not extravagant, but just something plain simple that you can still put stuff in the back. So all we did was just cover up the trunk area, just carpeted, and then and we ended up putting the battery in the back. He didn't want the battery in the front, that's factory location, but he just wanted that to be in the trunk area. And then we also ended up putting Chris Austin Chassis Works vent breather for the fuel system. So that's also in the back of the trunk. Other than that, it does vent out, but it's actually the vent canister is actually mounted inside the trunk. So now as far as going on to the lighting, as you can see, they are LEDs. It is a factory style tail light. So what we ended up doing is we went with the guys over there at GT Tail Lights, and then we ended up going with the LED tail lights in the back, full sequential. So these things are just awesome. Keeps it all factory, but it gives it that modern bright look. So as you know, on the classic cars, the lighting on these vehicles are not very bright. So chances of somebody rear-ending you is pretty high. So we wanted to make sure that whoever's in the back of this, driving behind this vehicle, wanted to make sure that they get full attention when the brakes or turn signals applied. So as far as on the front, wanted to go on the front, we ended up going with factory style look on the headlights. We ended up going with our friends over there at Holley. We went with the LEDs. As you can see, they are factory look, but as you can see how bright they are, and this is on the low dim setting. So, and in the front where the running lights and turn signals, it is also the guys over at GT Tails. So that's actually all LED as well on the lights itself. So this vehicle has a lot of vintage look to it, but it has a lot of modern technology in it. So you can't beat it. I mean, this is a vehicle that, you can just get in and go and just drive and cruise and don't have to worry about overheating, getting poor gas mileage, and having to worry about running out of gas and stuff like that. You just can't beat it. So, and at the same time, and just blasting the tunes and enjoying it. So, the thing I want to talk to you guys about on this vehicle is the Forge Line wheels. We wanted to go with the GT3 Ace Forge Line wheels. It's a 3-piece wheel. We ended up doing the transparent smoke with the polished lip. It's a step lip, so having the step lip on a vehicle that's configured with 18s in the front and 19s in the back, it's huge because it doesn't make the transition from an 18 to a 19 a drastic change as far as the difference, So we ended up going with Falcons, the 660s, RT660s, and these are a 255, 35 18s in the front, and then the rears, we're actually swapping out the tires in the rears. We have 305s in there right now. It is a 19x11 wheel, so we are going to be putting in the RTs, the 315s, also to match the front 660s. So it's basically it's a 315, 38, 19. I'm sorry. So it's a tire. It's actually a little wider. The customer wanted a little bit more wider on the tire, so we're just gonna basically end up doing is rehooping the wheels, and then so we can just go ahead and put a little bit bigger tire in there. Surprisingly, with the factory leaf spring look, as far as the location in the front, and still having these springs, DSC is able to help as far as you're able to still put like a pretty big size tire in the back. I think 315 is probably the biggest you can put on there, still retaining a lease ring vehicle, that's pretty darn good as far as, so that not, you know, without going to a 4-lane setup on the vehicle itself. So, but yeah, these were the wheels of the customer as far as choice, and the tires as well. Okay, so now what I wanted to talk to you about is the exhaust system on this vehicle. It does have American Racing headers on it. It is 1 7/8 in the front. It does have a full stainless 3-inch custom exhaust on it. And then we backed it up with Borla mufflers. The guys over at Borla over there in Oxnard, where I'm from, so born and raised, and I mean, you can't beat it, man. The mufflers, I mean, they sound incredible. You know, it's just the tone. Don't have to worry about the droning and stuff like that. You just can't beat it. So that's our go-to muffler for all of our vehicle builds out here, so in Texas. So as far as driving it, tuning it, I mean, as far as tuning it, our good friend Sean is going to be able to tune this over there at Lethal Performance. So he's a good friend of ours, friend of the family's. That's going to be the next step for this vehicle itself. So stay tuned, so that way we can actually see what's the real horsepower this baby's going to be putting down.